So we're going to start by talking about lessons that you need right away that really even, it has nothing to do with actual experience of being a server. And let's talk about etiquette. How do you feel about etiquette and what do people need to know about that?
I think etiquette is extremely important. I am definitely more professional and more formal when I'm speaking to guests than I would be with, say, my friends at home. And that's necessary. It's part of the performance, the guest experience. You want them to feel as welcome as possible, and sometimes that includes using more precise language.
That's a really good point. I mean, and after all, etiquette is really about hospitality, isn't it? It's about
yeah.
really welcoming someone into your space and really being attentive and being there for them. So in terms of like your mindset when you show up to work, I mean, tell people about what it's like, what do you do and what's your mental checklist coming into work and how you're thinking about the day ahead?
Well, honestly, I kind of switch off my outside life the moment I walk through the doors. Something about getting into the uniform, pulling my hair back, putting on my apron, and just sort of getting ready to be on stage and be there as the person to take care of the guests, the front line sort of for the restaurant.
So we're not worrying about the dog at home or any else things that's going on in your life. You're really just focused on being here right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be present and be as attentive as I can to the guests' needs once they arrive.
That's a great tip. So talk about, being attentive and really, focusing on that guest.
Well, I mean, there's the initial greeting when they first arrive, but beyond that, you're going to have times when you're not actually speaking to your customers, but you're walking around the dining room doing other things. And I think it's really important to get used to monitoring your tables from a distance, kind of giving them a little side eye as you walk by doing other things, seeing where their drink levels are, their plate levels are, and knowing when it's time to go check back with them and anticipate before they have to somehow tell you they need you. You never want them waving their arms at you to get you to come to the table.
That's a really good point. I remember back in my banquet days, I would always look for that head bopping up and going like this. And as soon as I saw a head bop up, I knew, okay, this person's looking for something.
Oh, yeah.
And so, my job was to make sure that server was on their way over there. And if they were busy, I would go up and make sure.
Yeah, I'm just constantly aware of what my guests might need from me.
So talk about your presence. Some people call it like, your posture or I call it like a beingness, being there at the table. What is that experience like?
It is somewhat of a performance. I do feel kind of comparable to when I was younger and I was on stage, but I stand a little bit more upright. I take care of my posture. I make sure that I'm speaking clearly, making eye contact with the guests. And just in general, being as approachable and pleasant to the guests as I can.
I think the lesson I always think about is how do you want to feel like when you're walking into somebody else's home? I mean, I talk about my Nana a lot. You walk in, the first thing Nana does is just she welcomes you with a big smile, and of course she starts offering you things to eat and drink. Right? It's just that welcoming moment.
Yeah, and it's how we show that we care for people.
And I like what you said about your posture. When you stand up straight, I mean, it really does something internally to you to make you feel like you are being professional. You are there to do work, and do a job.
You kind of feel like you're at attention and you're ready for whatever comes at you.